Are we back again? 2 videos one night. It's the bonus. Be sure to check out my other video, the Tickeron video. I do reviews with Tickeron. I'm partnered with them now, and I think they're a really cool up and coming type of trading platform. So go check those out. Anyways, we're going to talk about how I use the gamma exposure from the Investors Haven Discord channel. This is free for everybody, and I got permission from them to be able to do videos on it. And yeah, so I wanted to show you just how I use the SPY watch list to trade, essentially, or Tesla. The top two, obviously, are the ones that everybody watches, and that I think everybody watches. That's what I watch. So in SPX, but using SPY and Tesla. So one thing about Tesla is it was essentially negative gamma all day long. And so I was looking for the gamma flip type of play. The gamma flip is where that gamma exposure essentially, I'm going to pull this up, essentially turns. See how it's negative here? The gamma is negative minus 16. So we'll just kind of monitor this number throughout the day. And I'm sitting here watching it. So this is the total amount of gamma exposure. But here's the gamma exposure for May 27th. Okay, so it's not that bad. This could turn positive really easy. So this is what we're watching for. Now what happens, what's really cool about these charts is that with this watch list and the way that these guys have written this chart up, written this data up, basically they've written this data to be displayed in a certain way. They've done a lot of good updates and stuff like that. So as time goes on, you'll be able to, this will pop up every 15 minutes with a new gamma exposure, so you can watch it over time. And you can start seeing the levels get built out. You get levels get built out. And you kind of see the development of the gamma exposure over time. While it's red, see how it's red here and it's about to flip. While it's red, it just means that the next expiry is still negative gamma. Meaning it's still in a situation where it's really hard for it to go up, especially on a Monday. You're still 5 days away from the expiration. So any kind of negative, any kind of delta here is not really at risk of needing to be hedged or unwound, essentially, to the downside. So the natural pull of the market, every time it goes up, it's going to be naturally pulled back down, especially when it's below this vol trigger. So if you got price below the vol trigger and you're in a negative long-term volatile situation, every time price tries to go up, and you could have seen this with Tesla, every time it went up, got sold off. Try to go up, sold off. Try to go up, sell off. And that's just because it's under the 685. You're in a negative long-term volatile situation. And long-term volatile just means that both the total and the next expiry are both negative. So you'll see once this flips, this is what we were looking for, was the flip. You can see where it flips. This goes positive. This reduces a little bit, and it goes to short-term volatile. So because it's short-term volatile is the next expiry, the gamma exposure is now positive. And if you don't know anything about gamma exposure and stuff, don't think I know way more than you. I just know enough to trade with it. There's no way I could like teach a course on it or something. You know, I can explain a little bit to it, to how to use it, how to trade with it. That's kind of my expertise, I would say. But as far as like why it works, or the real technical details, I have a hard time communicating it. Essentially, I know how it works in my own brain, but not really how it works. It's hard for me to explain it. Okay, but anyways, so this flips positive. Okay, so now we're feeling pretty good here, and what happens is that the bars are going to change color. So what's really nice is if you're watching this tick by, so every 15 minutes you get a new chart, and then all of a sudden it flips positive. You're just not, you're just kind of glancing at it, or you're looking at SPY, you see the same thing. Then you're in at least you're in your next expiration is positive gamma. That's what you know. Your next expiration is positive. Then you can open it up and see if you're total positive. But if you see a gamma flip like that, it doesn't mean. It probably means that you're still negative GEX as far as a total, as far as across all expiries. And what that is really over the next 98 days is negative. And then, so we see it flip for, what, 45 minutes or so, and then it goes back negative again. But, so, here, once I saw this, I got out of I had calls. I actually had calls for quite a bit of time during the anticipation of the gamma flip, just because I saw the general market was fairly strong and lifting. But as soon as I saw it flip back negative, I was out. I basically was just like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to mess around with it, because the chances of it flipping back positive again were pretty low. It did do it. You can see here. But every time it flipped positive, it went right back negative. Okay, and then you start seeing these, the short gamma down here, these levels. Here's the most recent. Here's the one that printed at the end of the day. These kept growing and growing, so people were putting more, essentially buying more puts. Every time it went up, they bought more puts. Goes up, buy more puts. Goes up, buy more puts. And you got a really large bar here relative to the bars up here, where these bars weren't growing as much. So I bet you in like 2020, if you would have had a tool like this, you probably would have seen these bars just insane, hundreds of strikes up. Because I remember seeing, Tesla's at 1,000, and you can't even buy like the 2,000s for any kind of decent premium, just because that's where the gamma squeeze was happening, was they were buying people just couldn't buy the shorter strikes, so they're having to buy it as far out as the chain would let them. You probably saw these bars were just off the charts. But this is a different type of Tesla in a different type of market. And so when I see a gamma flip and then come right back down, and we see the short gamma getting built up at different levels, especially these big psychological levels, I can't help but think Tesla is probably going to drop tomorrow. I just can't help it. I don't want it to. I want Tesla to go up. I want Tesla to, go to 900 again so we can short it again. I don't want to short from 670. That's not a great spot to short from for me personally. This is what I want to happen. It doesn't matter what I want to happen. Right now, you're below both vol triggers. You're below the total vol trigger, which is for the 98 days, which is 750. So every time, at least within a longer time frame of 90 days or so, every rip is going to be sold until we're above 750. And then for this week, as long as we are under the 685, which this might change tomorrow, but as of right now it's 685, as long as we're below that, you're going to have a tendency to see Tesla come down to 650. And as long as it stays, if it breaks 650, it's going to 640 real fast. Not a lot here going on. And then you're probably going to see 600 get tapped again. As long as this picture holds like it does, as long as we stay negative, as long as we stay below the vol trigger, as long as these short gamma levels keep growing over time, and if the market decides to go down, Tesla's going to crash, 40, 50 points. It's not going to be hard for it to do that. So, keep an eye on that. Hopefully this helps you kind of learn a little bit about the gamma chart and how to use this watch list. And if you like this type of thing, make sure to let me know, like and subscribe, and leave me a comment. Peace.